My name is Maulik Khandar, and now our topic is learning with leadership. Learning with leaders. And I want to share one quote. Um, Humble leadership doesn't mean you think less of yourself, but it means you think about yourself less and you think of your organization and team more. Right, Anjali ma'am? So today we have two panelists, CA Sandhya Sriram and Ms. Anuja Parikh. Welcome, ma'am. Now, first of all, I would like to introduce Ms. Anuja Parikh. She is an inspiring woman entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, digital transformation leader, and CEO of InTech Systems. She earned an MBA in Management Information System and Marketing from Boston University's School of Business and a Bachelor's in Engineering from Gujarat University. She was also in Harvard Business School Executive Education in 2017. She is marketing expert with 10 plus years experience in consumer and enterprise product management and marketing. Her expertise lies in product management and marketing, also in online and e-commerce marketing. Welcome, ma'am. Now I would like to introduce CA Sandhya Sriram, Group CFO of Narayan Health, Bengaluru. Please loud of applause. She was rank holder in our fraternity chartered accountant. She had done her schooling from Hindu Senior Secondary School, Chennai. Her publications are Shared Services, A Journey to Excellence, Bringing Back Joy in Healthcare, and another one is Healthcare Finances, Money Matters for Life. She has been honored as one of Asia's influential leaders in finance and acknowledged among India's top 100 women in finance. Beyond her remarkable professional achievements, Sandhya is a dedicated public speaker and loving, caring mother. She was awarded by Feature Touch Business Solution as a most innovative CFO in October 22. Another one is Financial Star by Financial Express in September 2022. CA Professional Achiever of the Year in February 2023. CA Woman Director of the Year in Jan 2014. Now I would request CA Dr. Anjali Choksi to felicitate with memento on Ms. Anuja Parikh. A big round of applause, please. Now requesting CA Dr. Anjali Choksi, please felicitate with memento CA Sandhya Sriram. Now requesting CA CS Nisa Patel to take the further session.
Thank you. Thank you, Molly. Very good afternoon to the beautiful, lovely ladies sitting over here, though the presence is very less. Before starting this post-session lunch, I would request you all to please get up. There's a purpose behind that. Yeah. So, all of us, like if I'm going this side, it is towards your right. So we have to move a little bit. Yeah? 2 steps to your right. Yes. Left. This. Then 2. Yeah, we can move our body as well. Yeah. Yes, that's fine. We can wave. Now, this, yes. Down. And now 3 deep breaths. Like Ramdev Babaji. Thank you very much. Now you can be seated. Yeah, this was actually, I'm doing, the purpose behind that is a bit selfish because normally post-session lunch are like that everyone is yawning and all that. So I just wanted to avoid that so you get some oxygen. So I think we can start our session effectively, right? Actually, this is a post-session lunch, but we are destined that we are having distinguished and esteemed faculties with us who are not going to let you all sleep. And we are very lucky to have you both with us. I'll ask few questions, and after 2-3 questions, it is all open to us. I think it should be a very interactive session. Each of you, any of you can ask questions in between, even if you ask. As our speakers have already said, that there's no need that one-to-one, if I keep on asking, you all can also ask the questions. Right, so starting with this session on learning from leaders. The topic for today is learning from leaders. They both are distinguished leaders. My first question to both of you, you can answer one-on-one, that what are the personal qualities that are required for effective leadership? Like whether leadership qualities are innate or they can be developed. Yeah, please start.
Okay. The mic is working, you can hear me? No. Okay, you can hear me now? Okay, fantastic. So, according to me, talent is innate, leadership gets developed. If I have to draw an analogy, I want to draw an analogy to the Bobby Carlyle's self-made. It's called self-made man, but I'm going to take a little creative liberty and call it self-made person. I don't know if you've seen this image. It's the image of a man who's self-carving himself. It's done on the top and it's undone. He's still carving himself. That's really everyone's journey as a leader, and it always will be, where you're always trying to get better, be a better person. For me, if I want to call out my top 3 skills or personalities as a leader, and I think morning the sessions were really inspiring, and I don't think I'll be able to say anything beyond what the speakers have already spoken, but the first one is really making a difference, creating an impact. Being out there, put your hands up, take on responsibilities that are maybe outside your comfort zone, trying to do things in a different way, trying to look at outcomes differently from what has been achieved in the past. Now, these are the qualities that make you a leader. The more you give, the more you get. The more you give yourself to the job, the more you give yourself to your people, the more you build talent, you become a better leader. So that's one big piece for me. The second again was spoken in the morning, which is the learning mindset, the agility of always wanting to learn something, do something different. I've been tracking Preeti now for almost 10, 12 years. I think I've been tracking her, and every time I meet her, she comes up with something different. This whole thing on taking up this ESG charter for the on behalf of ICAI was really inspiring for me, that you venture into something, try to do something different, pick up something, try to bring value in that topic. So each of us try to push us. I only know tax, I've always done tax all my life, and I want to keep building a career on tax. Will only get you that far. So that's the second aspect. The third aspect, I want to tell a small story, which is that there were about 100 people that were locked up in a room like this, and there were 100 balloons in which their names were written, and they were said that find the balloon with your name. And they just couldn't find their balloon. Then they were said that find the balloon and give it to the person whose name is on it. And within a minute, everybody had a balloon with their name. And a lot of leadership is about giving, about being there, about contributing not because you're expecting an outcome, because it's the right thing to do. And the qualitative development that it gives to you as a person when you give without expecting a return is of a completely different order, both the emotional aspect of it and the learning aspect of it. So with that, I'll leave my long speech. I put everyone to sleep so Anuja can wake them up.
No, Sandhya, thank you. I think I completely agree with you. So what I feel is everybody obviously who has a base level of talent and intelligence can be a leader. And leadership doesn't mean that, you have to have a title. Even in a small team, even if you're not a designated leader, you can still kind of rise up to the challenge and lead whatever the task is there, or project is there, whatever is there. And that is how you will start cultivating it. I think internally all of you should have a mentality of having that growth mindset. A growth mindset is that, you are here to learn, expand on your skills. It's not that what today you've learned in school or college or, in the first few years of your job. That is it, right? Life is a journey. Every day brings about new challenges. So you have to learn by taking up those leadership roles within your organization. Nobody's going to hand that title to you from day one. And don't wait for that, okay? And that is how you will grow and cultivate that. And as Sandhya said, people will realize that you're giving to the organization, giving it, and that is how you will rise up. The other leadership, what I have kind of felt is, you have to just show up. There will be challenges daily, right? And new things that are coming up. The main thing, what your team and everything is that, you're not giving up in terms of, if there are any challenges in front, you're showing up to work, making sure you're leading the team and making the best decision. There will be no right decision. At that point, you have to make sure that you're making the best choice for the project or for the organization. You're taking charge, you're taking responsibility for your team and ensuring the best results. And that's the best one can do. And I think that is the main quality of a leader, is to make sure that your team rallies behind your vision and make sure that you are accountable for it and you rise up to that challenge.
Very well said, both of them, that you get what you give. Very rightly said. And second, you have to show up. I think that is very much needed for anywhere we are going. We have to show up yourself. Next thing I just want to, as I asked you earlier, like all these leadership quality, normally it is said that वो बचपन से ही उसमें leadership quality है. Can we inculcate these leadership, or normally they are innate? Can we develop those qualities, or what do you think? That is.
If you ask me my journey, I was that nerdy girl who had absolutely zero leadership qualities. I don't think I have too much even today. I think I've been a little lucky in my career journey. But, it was so much so that when I would go for my class and for my CAA class, I used to go with my friends in the morning at 5 o'clock you have to go. My father used to follow in the scooter. Because I used to be very embarrassed if he drops me, so I'll walk with my friends and he'll slowly follow in the scooter to see if I boarded the bus properly to reach my CAA class. From there, I think when circumstances throw things at you, I've seen most of the world on my own. If you see my passport, I have stamping of every second country in the world. And wherever I go, I explore the place. I will go by walk, go see the culture, the people. It's a complete transformation, and when opportunities come, you change, you build. So I think where Anuja, like she was mentioning, you put yourself out there and show up, you will build your skills and capabilities. So I can be one living, glorious example. I've led nothing in my life when I started, and yeah.
So that's an inspiration. So we can, of course, it's not necessary कि वो बचपन से leader होना चाहिए. We can develop those practices, of course. The second thing is for leadership, normally communication plays a very important role. Like without communication, like even if your staff or the person your team is very good, but if you're not communicating well, so how do you think that how communication is playing a role in effective leadership?
Sure. So I feel as a leader, and I think Molly you also mentioned, is one needs to have the humility, and the other thing is empathy. Empathy is when you're part of a team, even if you're a leader, you have to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. You have to understand from their standpoint what they are feeling. And you will not have the perfect information, but that is how the other person can kind of start trusting you and building that relationship. So the core of any communication is, you have to be empathetic, build that trusting relationship. And then obviously a lot of information will be shared, being empathetic, making sure that whatever the group needs, right, that is kind of shared very openly. And, it's okay if somebody's, not perfect, right? You have to kind of rise up and make sure that, the risk-taking abilities within the organization are there, because at the end of the day, the organization can only progress if somebody is willing to take up that risk. And that risk somebody will only take up if they know that, the leader is going to be there for them no matter what.
I just want to add a small thing here, just on the part of communication. Many times we misunderstand communication for English language fluency. They are absolutely unconnected. We cannot call ourselves, many times there are people who come and say that I am a poor communicator. Why? Because I can't either speak English well, or I speak with an accent. There is nothing wrong in speaking language with an accent, or not being able to fluently speak. Some grammar errors, they're all okay. The biggest dent that comes to people who have a slightly local language effect is on your own confidence. Now the most important thing about communication is sharpness. What do you want? What is the outcome you want from the conversation? Don't communicate just because you want to make your voice heard. The sharpness of communication is very important. So if you need a particular outcome, get to it in the fastest way, in the simplest way, that the other person gets what you're trying to say. So that's one place where I find that people go like right now I'm floundering. I'm going round and round on the topic. I'm not being sharp, right? So that is something we'll have to look at. The other aspect of communication is trust. The intent of communication is to build trust, is to make people believe what you're wanting them to do and them to follow you or get your outcome accomplished. So every time you're wanting to place a point, don't think about whether my English is right, am I fluent, am I putting in the right words, doesn't matter. Are you building trust? Are you getting to it in the sharpest way? If you can use these two guides, I think communication can make a very big difference in the impact you create.
Very true. Yes, very rightly said that communication, language is not the bar for that. Anyway, it should be communicated to that person. Now, we go mentorship. If we say normally for everywhere, like startups and all that, we are saying that mentorship is necessary. But I think everywhere, even to our staff, even to our team, mentorship plays a very important role. So what do you think that how mentorship is effective for effective communication? For leadership. For leadership, right?
No, I think I've been in this journey, and when I started it, there were very few women in the workplace. So at that time, I would go both, up to either it's a woman or a man who I know that is the person I want to be like. So mentorship definitely, I think, is very good. I think each one of you should seek out mentors, but the best mentor is that somebody who's also seeking out to you. So they are also going to be available for you in order to advise you in your next life or your next career, I mean. So that is quite important. So I think definitely mentorship has played a role. And you can seek out different mentors. It doesn't need to be that, you are a CA, so you have to find somebody in the same field. What you are going to develop is your abilities and your talent, which is quite generic. So it doesn't necessarily need to be from the same field.
Just to add to that, many times we misunderstand mentorship to be one silver bullet that will give me the answer. That's not true. Many times people reach out to me on LinkedIn and they say, can you be my mentor? So what are you looking for? I'm looking for what I should study next, or what job I should take next, or should I choose this job or not? I want you to mentor. That's not mentorship, that's advice. Okay, and you should, when you seek out advice, you should take everybody's inputs but make your own decision. Nobody can advise anything for your life which is better than what you can come up with. But obviously people will give you inputs which you can consider. So that's one aspect of mentorship. Mentorship is a relationship which helps you build yourself over a period of time. Second, I normally in my life I've looked at mentorship like a jigsaw puzzle. You won't get that one mentor who will solve everything for you, or who's that one person you can go to for everything. For example, there is one person who calls me, or I call him, once in 2 months. He just talks to me about my mental well-being, saying, you're going through so much, you're taking so much stress. It's true, all of us, no? We are like swans. We look very calm on the top, but niche we are paddling very ferociously. And we only know the stress which we are paddling, for ourselves. And he will never ever give me an advice and saying you should do this, you should not do this. He'll just listen to say, okay, I hear you, I know this is difficult, don't worry, you'll get through it. No, be yourself, keep trying, you'll get through it. So it makes a big difference for me, just calling him once in 2 months or 1 month and just pouring my heart out, and then he is like, oh yes, I hear you, I know it's tough, but you can do it. So that's one mentor. The other, when I moved in as the CFO of Narayana, I had zero knowledge on managing a proper treasury function. After doing so long in finance, I'd never done treasury, multiple roles. So I went on to a friend who is in treasury, and initially for the first 6 months, I would keep calling him, saying that, please, I have these questions, am I doing this right? Again, he would never say you should make this decision. He will say, these are the pros of your decisions, these are the cons of your decisions, please apply your own judgment and then move forward. Till now, I keep taking lessons from him on treasury. So it can be technical, it can be personal, but find multiple people in your life who can help you put it together. That, according to me, is the best form of mentorship.
Actually, normally being women also, we are thinking that yes, these are the person from whom which we should take mentorship. But when we are having kids on like that, even that Aya, and they are giving us a very good. So that is also a mentor. So everywhere roles are different, but that mentorship is what we are seeking for. That is mainly required. And my next question is, like, today's world is changing rapidly, new things, like you are into the AI and all that, new stuff is coming every time. So what do you think that how adaptability to the change is necessary for a leader?
I think I fully believe that for any organization and even a person, innovation comes from growth. So you have to learn how to continuously keep on evolving, learning, and embracing this change. Because everybody knows, the only constant is change. So change will keep on coming, and that is how you have to spend a lot of time in making sure you are learning every single day. And as a leader, the main thing is, how can you embrace this change and then positively, lead the team through such turbulent times. I think that is the core thing one has to kind of do as a leader, is to spend at least, I would say 10% of your time in knowing what the future thing is and making sure that your organization, you yourself, is ready for that.
On adaptability, there are two aspects. One is when life throws you into situations which are unique, how are you taking advantage of that situation? And that it comes with your own ability, agility and adaptability. So I want to give you one example. I came right out of maternity leave, and my child was very small at that time, and I was a finance person until then. I had done only finance roles, but they put me on as the finance business partner for a IT project. So I had to give the blueprint, design, etc. And then there is a technical person who will do the design. And this boy was a colic boy, and you know what colic children do, keep you awake all night. So then I had a lot of spare time at that time. So then I put my hands up and I said, can I take the IT track also? So then the organization asked, you don't know, you've not learned. I said, I learned because I have the entire till 12:31, so I am awake only sitting with this boy. I might as well use that time to study, learn. So I actually learned IT thanks to my boy's colic pain. And to be fair, even today, people call me as a very IT savvy CFO. I think it's thanks to that one stint where, because IT many times is not about coding, that all, you know, the more intelligent people will take care. It is about direction, it is about what you want, and it is about enabling the team to find the right solution. And that comes if you have the confidence, appreciation, and the willingness to make a decision. So for me, I feel that many times when we look at adaptability, it is when opportunities are thrown, how well you can grab them. The other aspect is when we look at new places, new people, like I landed in my job in Narayan, and I've changed so many roles, maybe within the same company, but multiple roles. One of the things we try to do is that we come into organizations and we say, look, I am like your God's gift to mankind, and I'm going to change the world. And many times we try to do that because we want to prove ourselves. We want to show everything I've got. I want to give it to you. But the first step when you settle in an organization is to adapt to the people, the culture. When they were talking about adapting to the board, when the board session was running, it was very similar, which is to say, first 1 year, you just observe, assimilate, understand what the organization, that's also adapting. Every time you are in a new climate, as much as you want to contribute to that climate, adaptability is also about settling yourself in that climate and becoming someone who can add value to that environment.
Very true. We are here to learn from leaders, so I would like to ask you both to share some experience of your life or experiences as well, which you think have changed your aspects, or you think they have added or your leadership values. Something, a few experiences of your life which you would like to share with us.
So my journey was interesting because I've obviously born and brought up here, studied in engineering school, and I wanted to go abroad and study. And when I went to study, I had the vision that, you know, I do want to become a professional. What I felt is that at that same time, you know, I met my future husband, and he was kind of part of the same journey. So he did support me and making sure that together we can grow as individuals. So I feel a lot of times with, especially with women, you know, choosing the right partner who can kind of be there for you as you are working and following your dreams, that is very important. So I think I was lucky enough to have that partner. I think the second one, which I feel is, I also have 2 kids, and then going through the maternity, and fortunately my parents and everybody were there to support. I, in fact, moved to India after I had 2 kids, but through this whole time, I kept working, and that was because I had good support. But the other thing, what is very important for women to also understand is that, you cannot be a superwoman, you have to have enough help to make sure that all the other tasks are taken care of. I think a lot of times women kind of want to be, it's like, I alone can do everything, and it's not possible. Even if you feel like, I tell a lot of people who work under me, it's, if you are a single mother and you compare yourself with a single father, that single father will keep help. So there's nothing wrong in keeping help in order to make sure that you keep working through these challenges. And yes, it will cost a lot, but that is stuff that you are investing in yourself, in growing your kind of intelligence in your career and all of this. And the last is that, you know, I've moved across continents, across cities, but throughout that time, I made sure that I changed jobs also, and then finally I entered my family business. But I kept working, and you have to kind of have that ability to not give up. You know, there will be situations that, will come into your life. But I think you have to, see it's a marathon, not necessarily you will sprint the entire marathon, you will have some slowdowns, but just keep running and make sure that you never give up. Don't take certain things saying कि नहीं अब ये challenge है मैं give up कर लूँगी. Don't do that. There are always options, and as people have said, learn through different people, gather your support system, and make sure that you keep going ahead.
So Sandhya, what about you? You want to share something?
Yeah, so if you ask my life journey, I think my story is very funny. My parents were a little conservative. They never wanted me to leave Chennai. So when the campus interview came, I got an offer from Wipro, Bharat Petroleum and Chennai Petroleum. Wipro, of course, was a management trainee, so it was a management position. Bharat Petroleum was a senior officer, and Chennai Petroleum was an officer. In public sector, officer to senior officer is 5 years. My mom did not allow me even to take that Bharat Petroleum job because it was in Bombay. And she said, you have to join Chennai Petroleum. So that's where I started my career. I did a few months in Chennai Petroleum, and then Hindustan Lever came in the campus for JD, but they didn't make an offer. Later they called for an interview. In those days, we never had any mobiles and stuff like that. So they called home. And then my mom said, Hindustan Lever, there is no Sandhya. And she kept the phone down. And somehow that girl, the recruiter at the other end, she figured that my mom is playing some game. She actually came to office on a Sunday. This is for Hindustan Lever, where people are standing in a queue to join. And they should have just let me go. But this recruiter, because we don't have, you have to, if this is a STD call she has to make from Bombay to Chennai, you can't make it from home, they're very expensive. So she went to office on a Sunday and she called my home. And it was just by luck that I picked up the phone. And then she said, look, I've spoken multiple times to your mom. She just doesn't seem to communicate to you that we want to call you for the next interview. So then after that, of course, the entire ceiling came down. All the relatives put a lot of pressure on her, saying that you have to let her at least go for the interview. Then at least accept the offer. Let her at least go. That day I left Chennai. I've never gone back to Chennai after that. But sometimes, life has its way of finding the right opportunity, right direction also for you. So as much as your own energy, sometimes you should also trust destiny and good people.
That's why they are true inspiration. Like from that type of era, if she can come over here, then of course we can do a lot. Now, next thing I would like to ask that normally we all are meeting with deadlines. Being in the corporate world, है ना? Deadlines. किस चीज़ की deadlines रहती हैं? GST, income tax, and whatever. List is never ending, right? So, what is the role of a leader during these deadlines, during this crisis time? I think what is the role of being a leader to manage the team, and what are the ways in which we can do this effectively?
I'll give you an example. So there was a deadline to submit something, and my team was waiting for my inputs, which obviously didn't get to them in the right time. Then I realized, okay, we only have a few hours, and obviously the stress levels was quite high. So I just sat there and I said, I'm going to do it with you. So we ordered in food, we made sure everybody was fed. But I think the main thing is, first of all, I took the ownership. Okay, yes, it was my fault. I didn't give the feedback on time. Secondly, I knew that, and there are several ladies also in the team. I knew that, they would, their family would be worried. So I made sure that, the basics, they've communicated with your family saying that you will have to spend, and do an all-nighter, and, whatever, the food and everything will be taken care of. So at least that mental relaxation was in the team that, those basics are done. And then, obviously, I didn't have to contribute all throughout the night, but I stayed with them. And that is important because they felt that, as a leader, I was also along with them in the journey. It was not like I dumped everything on them and let them work all night. And then the next day I said, just take a day off. I know you worked so hard. So being in their shoes, again, I'm saying, being in, feeling their pain, being empathetic and taking care of them, I think that is the core thing. I think that's how you build the trust and people understand, And that's how I think, that deadlines will come. I think sometimes you will have to do an all-nighter. But I think if you have a trusting manager who can understand that, and right now, most people have flexible jobs, right? So either if you can work all night in the office or from your home, and if you submit it for deadlines, I know in finance there will be deadlines you cannot miss. But if you work that day, next day you can kind of come in late or take a day off, and that's okay. And that flexibility today, I think generically is offered.
So I'm going to talk a slightly different part of crisis management. Of course, Anuja very beautifully covered the team aspect of it. See, I feel that they call Murphy's Law, it's Murphy's curse. He's cursed the entire world that everything that has to go wrong will go wrong. So you will always be in a situation, and we have always faced it. We are always facing some situation or the other where it may not be one major crisis that life is falling apart, but there are always many mini crises that keep happening through your life. Like a few months back, this was a government official. I got that appointment with him after waiting for some 6 months, and I'm standing outside his office waiting to go in, making my ID card. And a call comes from Samarth school saying Samarth fell down and he's got a fracture. Please come and pick him up. Now, you have to make a decision. And these kind of crises keep happening in our life. It's true, it's part of life, let's accept it. That meeting was professionally important for me. I called up the orthopedic, I asked him what time can I get the appointment. He said not before 7 p.m, I'm coming only at 7 p.m. So there's nothing I could do with Samarth. So I told my driver, I'll figure you please go pick him up from school, take him home, I'll finish this meeting, I'll take a taxi and come home, and then I'll take him to the orthopedic. Now it may sound very cruel that your son's had a fracture and you are meeting one government official, but you have to see where you can actually solve something, create maximum value, and not feel guilty about it, because you're dealing with thousands of crises like this. With every crisis, if you are going to put that guilt saying, I was that bad mother who was not there for him at the time of fracture, the whole night I can sit with him, and if he's having pain, I can help him through that pain. So I am going to be with him. Yes, I couldn't go to the school and pick him up. Maybe somebody can make a different choice. That's also not wrong. But don't feel guilty about the choices you make under crisis. You get the best outcome that is possible in that circumstance, not the best outcome that is possible in theory, because theory never works in practical life.
Very true. Very rightly said, both of you. We have to never feel guilty about whatever we're doing. Normally, I know today all of us, including me, are present over here, but we have left so many things. Like for this conference to happen, everybody has sacrificed something, but we should be happy that we all are together here. Now, next thing, normally all our CA, those are in practice of facing, that is the staff turnover. Like no matter, I think whatever we may do, all are agreed. No voice out of. So, how to handle that? As a leader, what do you think? How to handle all those stuff? Whatever we may do, but somehow that staff turnover is a lot, that where we are lacking in that part, what we should do.
I want to take a healthcare answer, which Dr. Shetty gives. I work with Narayana Health, and Dr. Shetty is the chairman. Some of you may know him. So some reporter asked him, saying that nurses' turnover is very high and nurses keep leaving. What are you doing about it? He said, I'm very happy that they're leaving. So we were like, why? Because his point was that, see, she comes from a, many times, not a very well-to-do background. She represents her village, she steps forward, leaves things behind, comes forward, and then if she leaves me and she goes abroad to get a better job, then tomorrow 5 more girls from that village will put their hands up to do nursing. So it is okay if some good people move on to better opportunities and find better jobs. Now, I want to draw the same analogy for finance. About 2 weeks back, we were attending the farewell of Jatin Dalal, who was the CFO of Wipro. He's moving to Cognizant. And he was saying that, the biggest, as part of his farewell speech, he was saying, the thing that I'm most proud about is that half the IT services CFOs today are ex-Wipro. So every time an IT service, somebody leaves and joins as a CFO of another company, I feel very proud that I have created enough value for my people that they can move on. So if your people are leaving because they're getting better and you are not able to give them that opportunity to grow in the organization, don't feel sad, feel happy, train the next person. If your people are leaving because you have not given the right work culture, right work environment, experience, or people see, many times we think money is very important. When people come for jobs, they negotiate. Of course, we should all negotiate, and maybe that's for a different question. But once they come in, after that, they're not so worried about how much money they make. They are worried about, am I learning? Am I getting better? Am I happy? Am I getting the right energy? I want to say experience, but I'm using the word energy because energy is the balance of all good things that happen, balanced against the not so great things which happen in an organization. That's the balance energy. Am I getting a positive energy in net? That's why people stay. So if you're creating negative energy for your people, then you are to blame. If you've created positive energy and your people are still leaving you, then feel proud that you've created better people.
I absolutely agree with Sandhya. I think what you face in, in the finance field, I think if you're in IT, the attrition is much worse. And yes, I think as the owner, I would always look inward. Am I doing something wrong? Is there, because we do take exit interviews and we do talk to our employees. And just like Sandhya said, is like if we have the right culture, right? People moving on is not a bad thing because they also want different experiences. I don't think anybody in today's day and age can spend their entire lifetime with one company. And I have myself faces that, when my employees go to other organizations, they actually become champions of my company. So I take things also very positively. As people leave, I wish them the best. And the other thing is, a lot of organizations, what we need to do is, don't live in that fear that, मैं इसको train करूँगी, वो चला जाएगा. That's wrong, right? I think it is our duty to make sure we provide the right platform for all the people, and make sure we give them the right environment for them to thrive. And, for whatever circumstances they choose to leave, I think we wish them well and make sure they are becoming your champions in other organizations. Today, with all my ex-employees, I have excellent relationship. They still reach out to me or the organization, and they are truly the champions because they actually hear what the market says. And they always refer that, no, you go to Intech, you will not, you will have the best team in front of you. So I think you have to kind of embrace that and just move forward.
Actually, if anyone want to ask any questions, it is open. You can ask in between. It is open to all of you. Huh? Yeah. Mike. આપણે માઇક આપજો ને.
Many of us over here who have MSME sectors or we are doing that, we are not in the industry, we are here, and at times we feel that there are days we are just managing and there are days we are just working. So if it was a day where I was allotting tasks or looking what has happened, what has not happened, managing, at the end of the day I feel, okay, I haven't worked today, what I was supposed to do. So how do you maintain that balance? Like, you are at a leadership position where you have to lead many teams and many projects, plus you have to do something of your own as well. So how do you manage those things? Like, if you can give your own examples.
So, so there are two aspects. There's a little bit of a work-life balance, and then within work also what you said, how do you prioritize and do different tasks? And everybody, I think, will have a different formula. So in terms, and that formula, it's like a cooking recipe. Everybody will have their recipe. There is no one particular secret, ke yehi karoge, yehi success, because you will have to tune to your taste and your lifestyle, what works for you. So with me, I first of all, I take care of myself. I make sure that I exercise, I look after myself, so when I go to work, I'm charged up and well prepared to take on the daily task. And there is a prioritization. I think the most important, if you are a leader, is to delegate. You will not find anyone who will be able to do exactly how you are going to do it, but without delegation, you will not rise up. So, start delegating, start trusting that the best solution can come from somebody else, and let them experiment. And that is how you will find time to do stuff that is really important at your level to do. I think the organization, if you are at a leadership level, has hired you to do some better and tougher tasks. So you have to make time for that and delegate the rest of it to the other teams in order to make sure that overall there is progression. And as I said, sometimes you may land up doing, a menial task which, you feel like, ye main 5 saal ke baad wo hi kar rahi hu. But I think sometimes you have to do it, but at the same time, you hire the right people, mentor them, coach them, so you can start working on bigger and better things.
The other one small part I want to add is that I think it's very, very common for women to feel unhappy at the end of every outcome. Or zyada kar sakte the. That's a very, very common problem we have, that we never feel satisfied ki, I have got so far, I have done so much. It's okay, it didn't go exactly the picture perfect way I imagined. So we should just be happy with the outcomes we achieve. That also will bring mental peace.
Thank you so much for the insights.
I think for professionals like us, what I do, as you said, that whole day sometimes it is like we are with the clients, or one day, whole day we are doing work. That's what I think you're. And normally what I do, I normally break that time. Like initial 3-4 hours, whatever it may be, either they are for clients or they are for my internal work. And post that is for the work only. Otherwise, if we keep on starting work, the whole day we just keep on working only. So that's what, as she said, there's a different recipe for everyone. Yeah. Somebody else also raised the, yeah.
Thank you for sharing all your insights. My question is specifically to Sandhya. So, for aspiring leaders who are working in the industry, so often we are tempted to take up new roles. Like, I cannot do a specific kind of work or the same work for more than 2 years. So I would ask for a job role change, or I'll ask for a team change. Or, it works different for others as well. But if, often it happens that your manager wants to stick to that job and they offer a leadership position only when you stick to your job for, let's say, 3 hours, 5 years, or if they see that, okay, that person is not moving, then I should offer a leadership change or a role change. So what has worked for you over the period, like switching roles and exploring new ideas, or sticking to one and deep down go into the depth of it?
First of all, you caught me. I was quietly passing the first answer to Anuja. But see, you can have a generalist career or a specialist career. If you're aspiring for a specialist career, like you want to become a tax head of a company, then you should do every type of tax there is, and have a deep career in tax, and that's a specialist career. But if you're aspiring for a more generalist career, I want to become a CFO at some point in time, then you should have exposure to different departments. So I agree with you that you have to rotate. But keep 2-3 aspects in mind. One is, both priorities are equally important, organizational priorities and individual priorities. You cannot maximize for one at the cost of the other. So if, for example, you want to move in 2 years, but the organization wants you to move in 3.5 years, it's okay to do 3.5 years. You then try to learn more depth within that role itself. Try to do different things, take on more responsibility, try to understand more depth in that role. But if your manager is expecting you to do that only forever, then you have to have that conversation saying that I'm willing to be a little patient, but I'm not willing to be in this job forever, because we have to learn. That's one part. The second part is, you need to understand that whether you are at the peak of value creation, because what happens is, first 1 year the organization invests in you for you to learn the job. You can't say, now I have learned everything, now teach me the next thing. You're not in a college. You have to give back. So depending on how much time you took to learn the job, you must be able to give back double the time to that job. You have to make the job better than where it was before for the next person. So that's the second part. Third part is, this is the aspect of giving. You have to work to make yourself redundant. Every job you have to work saying, if I am not there, can my team take care of this job? Then you are giving confidence to your manager to rotate you, because they will know that the value you've created on job A in the organization, you will create that value in job B. So if you are able to apply these principles, and of course you have to work through the dynamics of the organization, your own personal dynamics. Sometimes organization gives in, you go through a certain phase in life where you need a certain type of job. Organizations make that accommodation. So that give and take has to be there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So any more questions? Yeah.
As a leader, the trouble is to keep these in sync, and every function works basis SOP. So when you need 2 functions to work together and share that responsibility, it becomes very difficult to hold the person or the team responsible, because as a leader, for you, your job is to get the work done. You face challenges. So, I want to know your perspective as to how do you deal with this kind of situations.
Sure. So, if your team isn't collaborating in one way or the other, the 100% responsibility is yours. You've not created the climate to collaborate, that can be one, or you've not understood the aspirations of the team. Why do people not collaborate? If you take a step back, one, either there is an insecurity. The insecurity can be that, if I let go everything, especially you find this with, okay, I won't take examples. So, if say I won't share my SOP, I will hold this to myself, let the person come and ask. So there is an insecurity saying, if I collaborate, then I don't have a career path. Maybe my job may become less important for the organization. That can be one form of insecurity. The other form of insecurity will be that if I take a risk, I step outside my boundary, and I make a decision which is outside my SOP, I will be punished. That's the second form of insecurity. Now you need to dig deep into your organization saying, what is that underlying culture which is causing, so every time someone has skipped an SOP and say gone out of the way and done something for somebody, have you encouraged or have you prosecuted? You have to look at that. What energy and culture will not be built overnight. It gets built over years and years and years. So if you go one day, call your entire team and you announce saying from tomorrow, you can skip whatever SOP you want, you're given carte blanche, help your team, nothing will change. Maybe they will use it as an excuse to make mistakes. So these things have to be changed over a period of time, like they say, freedom within a framework. You have to create a certain operating freedom for the team. And the last aspect is communication. Over-communicate. One of the things we do is we communicate in silos. We'll call the controller, we will tell the controller saying this accounting aspect has to be taken care of, you please take care of. We'll call the business finance guy and say, you have to deliver this business case, please take care of. We never bring together both of them and say, if you have to deliver this business case, is there any accounting angle that need to be explored? So we have to take care of both together. That many times we don't do. Because for us, at that point in time, the business case was in mind, you finished the topic, you moved on to the next topic. So sometimes we don't communicate what we are communicating between teams well enough. And that causes, and this kind of friction always happens between controllership, business finance, tax and controllership, business finance and tax. They want to have a certain business case, the tax guy will not allow them to take the assumptions that they want to take. Because we don't allow them to navigate effectively, that smoothness, that we don't give them that flexibility. And what are the goals? So one of the things which I started doing after I took over my role was I went to my manager, I agreed my goals and I shared my goals with all my team members. I think, this is what I am goaled on. And every month I send them an update saying, this goal I have achieved, this goal I have not achieved. I keep sending that update to the entire team. Because then what happens is that the team knows that what are the priorities and where I am headed. So if the controller is doing something that is making business finance fail, then my business finance target is not getting achieved. So therefore he's also going to be conscious that I have to help this team. So if you over communicate and you're transparent that how the outcomes are getting measured, over a period of time change will come.
No?
You have such a fantastic next session. I don't think they want to hear us.
But at last, I would like to ask you both to any message to a CA woman as to be an effective leader.
I don't think I'm going to give any message or something. You're all fabulous. Just believe in yourself, what you can achieve. There's someone who's put her hands up. Yes, you're fabulous, I agree.
We all are. I think we all should raise our hands.
Yes, we are fabulous. Just keep believing in yourself.
Something? Yeah, he's coming.
So while the mic travels, I want to complete. You're all fabulous. You can achieve whatever you want in life. Just put your heart to it.
Yeah. Hello. What digital trends are more important for us to learn? I'm talking about the digital trends.
What digital things are relevant for
digital trends? What are the trends that you feel?
Digital trends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apart from the blockchain and AI, that we all know. But apart from that, what other digital trends we need to follow?
Sure. So, see, I have a little bit of a slightly divergent view on digital. We all absolutely have to be digital savvy, understand the trends, etc. But don't get hyper worried that I don't know blockchain, I don't know how to code AI. Don't get hyper worried. Our role is to be able to apply the relevant technologies to solve business problems. So look at the business problems you're trying to solve. Look at the technologies that are solving those business problems. Understand those technologies and learn how to apply them for solving those business problems. So for example, blockchain, I don't understand at all because I am not solving any business problem today with blockchain. So I have a broad appreciation, that's enough. But one thing that you have to remember is that you will be irrelevant if you don't know to apply technology to your job. There are so many jobs that have vanished and they will continue to vanish. And so many new jobs will get created. So I'm not sounding some doomsday. We will keep moving up the value continuum. There were people that were throwing coal into the steam engine and steam engine used to move. Now nobody throws coal. That does not mean that it caused unemployment. It made people do better jobs. So if you are sitting and doing manual work, if you are not using technology, then please look at what is the right technology to use to automate, digitize your work, and how do you take it to the next level of efficiency. So keep doing that every day, not one time. Even if you have applied a particular technology, say for example, if you had a manual register and you have automated through a tally, then you see, can I do Tableau? Can I do visualization? Can I do better MIS presentation? Then can I stop doing accounting? Can that be fully automated? So keep on thinking next level of digitization for your area of expertise.
So yeah, I think what Sandhya said was very realistic. I think me being in technology, I can keep on giving lectures on AI or blockchain, but it will not be as useful. What Sandhya says is a very practical thing, is that every one of us has to remain curious. You have to keep on exploring what is out there. And as she said, you don't need to go in depth. You don't need to start coding or developing, but kind of visualize how is that technology going to impact your organizations. And today there are many such, information readily available. You look on YouTube or LinkedIn or anywhere. Information is readily available on your fingertips. And so, as long as you're digesting that and then applying that to your job role, I think that's more than enough. You don't need to go into depth unless you obviously want to change and go into the technology field.
Very true. There's one question from audience. I got on the message that what is your favorite leadership style? Both of yours.
So leadership style for me is, I love Indra Nooyi. She's, I think for most of us, has been a great inspiration. How she has kind of, in her times, kind of been on the leadership journey. Me being in technology, I follow Satya Nadella. And one of the most important thing what I have learned from him is that he's quite empathetic. He puts himself in front of people and is vulnerable. And that I find as a leader very valuable. And that is how your people will relate to you, they'll come to you. And today, the best way I learn is by recruiting young people like you, and they teach me a lot. So you have to start becoming, out there, being in front of people, being empathetic, and, have a way that, you keep on learning, not only just from somebody who's older than you, but sometimes the learning, as she said, come from different places. And for me, a lot of learning comes from the new recruits that we hire.
My leadership style, I don't know, but I feel you have being yourself, being feminine is nice. It's okay to smile. I'm always smiling. Many times in office meetings, I'll be the only girl in the room and I'll be always smiling. And people are coming in with stern faces. Now others have started smiling after. When someone makes a point, you smile and you answer. It's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable at times. It's okay to feel emotional about a particular work problem. You don't always have to be that stoic person who takes everything, processes in the head and returns answer like a computer. No, it's okay. Feel emotional, feel sad, feel hurt, solve, be passionate. Just be like the way you are, whoever you are. So I kind of bring my entire self, including my shortcomings, to my job. That's my leadership style. Sometimes it's irritating for people because I'm very jumpy, very excited, and always thinking of the next best thing. And sometimes my team says, Sandhya, just wait. We have to catch up. So it's okay. And you learn. When people give you feedback, you learn. Keep that open environment that you're like, we started the conversation saying we're all work in progress, only half done. The other half we will build as life progresses.
Truly Sid, smile we pays nothing but buys everything. So that's what we are known for. Now I would request, thank you very much both of you and all of you for this wonderful session, for being active. Like this post lunch is a very difficult, but you all were rocking, and thank you to both of you. And now I would request Shikha Agarwal to give an official vote of thanks.
Thank you, Nisha. On behalf of WIRC Ahmedabad branch, I, Shikha Agarwal, would like to thank both of our faculties, Anuja Parikh and Sandhya Sriram. First of all, round of applause to both of them. You both gave us insights and ignites us to be leader in any field. So leadership doesn't demand any designation or any language, excellence. It just need a courage and sharpness in your mind what you want to do, and be ready to be criticized, क्योंकि जो आगे बढ़ता है वही criticism भी face करता है, and fight for the good. So leadership is an action, it's not a position. So don't sit down and wait for the opportunities. Get up and make them. And friends, as this is our National Women Conference, तो नारी के लिए कुछ तो बनता है. तो एक शायरी लेकर आई हूँ. बिजली चमकती है तो आकाश बदल देती है. बिजली चमकती है तो आकाश बदल देती है. आंधी उठती है तो दिन और रात बदल देती है. जब गरजती है नारी शक्ति, जब गरजती है नारी शक्ति तो इतिहास बदल देती है.